our department representatives, and look forward to working with you all as chair of this committee. And I want to give a special thank you to Councilman O'Connell for chairing our first committee meeting this term in my absence, and for serving as chair very ably last year. So it was my pleasure to serve as vice chair with him, and I'm glad he will remain on this committee. And so there's a fair amount of overlap, as you all new members will see, with Public Works Committee and Traffic, Parking, and Transportation Committee. So Councilman O'Connell serving there as well, and so I'm glad of that. Also, if you have an interest in serving as vice chair of this committee, would you please let me know that this evening? And if you want as well, you can kind of email me your qualifications in that regard, areas of policy interest, and so forth. And also, committee members, if you have a particular area of policy interest, please let me know, like perhaps recycling or sidewalks or bikeways or water infrastructure. Please just kind of let me know about that. So, as chair of this committee, it's expected that I will devote a little more time to particular efforts and meetings with staff and the departments. But, I also want committee members, if you do have a particular area of interest, to please, join me in that effort and in those meetings. So, okay. With that, that's sort of my chairman report there as well, and sort of a segue into our staff report. Public Works, I know that we colleagues have gotten a fair amount of questions about recycling of late. We've had some changes with recycling, and then we as a body saw last term some kind of major changes really at the global level related to recycling and those pressures, but then we also have some particular changes like clamshells not allowed and so on and so forth. So I had asked staff if they could just give us a quick update on that as far as what is no longer allowed, and then we can discuss it more like at a different time.
Sure. So it's kind of the trickle-down effect of what happened in China. We don't usually think that things that happen in China will necessarily have an impact, like on Public Works here in Nashville, but they changed or increased the quality requirements for plastics and paper that are shipped overseas. And what that did is it kind of flooded the U.S. market. So what's happened is in the trickle down to Nashville, we're getting a lot of contamination. And one piece of legislation that's going to be upcoming is going to be addressing the cost of contamination. So in looking and talking to our contractor and identifying some of the problem materials we're getting, we are trying to really define. So the plastics that we accept, which are plastic bottles, like water bottles, plastic jugs, like milk jugs, juice jugs, even your detergent jugs, and then the dairy tubs. And what that leaves out are a lot of the other things like the plastic trays, that a lot of those were actually really not probably getting recycled, and the clamshell containers. And the clamshell containers, for people who don't know, it's sort of, those takeout containers and the, like some of the berries. And largely because they can be made of several different types of plastic, and some of which are recyclable, but most that aren't. And so in an attempt to try and help people to understand, we would rather some good material not make it into recycling than a whole bunch of contamination make it in there. So part of what we're trying to do is just make it really clear to people. I've been telling people, if you look at this and it's not in the picture for plastic, don't put it in there. And just keep it really simple with these types of products, because ultimately what we're trying to do is reduce contamination and reduce the cost so that we get good, clean material instead of a lot of contaminated material.
Colleagues, I'm going to try to meet with Ms. Smith next week. So if anybody has any particular questions about recycling or suggestions, I would say on that particular point about not taking the clamshells or whatever, just, social media, please, like JPEGs, things we can include in our newsletters, stuff that's just easy to share for us, and so forth. Yes.
And would it be possible to set up a tour for us to go to the sorting facility?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes,
Great.
I will. I'm working with our contractor on that, and we'll invite all of the Public Works Committee.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good suggestion, Councilor Allen. Okay, staff, anything else to, oh, I apologize. Did you have a question for Ms. Smith? Okay.
I have one thing. The Nashville tree sale is going on right now. Small, medium, canopy, and evergreen trees that range in price from $109 to $196. You can pay $75 and have it planted. If you want more information on this, go to treeconservationcorps.org/tree sale. There's lots of information, lots of different types of trees that you can get and help grow our canopy here in Nashville, which is a really important initiative,
Right.
ongoing.
Our Root Nashville initiative, and they're very sizable trees, colleagues. I mean, they're very impressively sized trees. And then one thing I'm always promoting is trees as traffic calming. So if you can, internal to your neighborhoods, get folks to plant these in their front yards as close as they can to the street, but not with power lines and so forth. That really does narrow people's cone of vision, kind of makes them slow down. So in that public works space, there's a good synergy there with all the reasons we need trees for stormwater runoff and all those good things, but also can have a positive effect on our safe streets. So
And all of this information will be in the weekly email that you all receive from Sissy.
great. And there's going to be multiple phases of that sale this time around.
Yes, it's multiple months with multiple deadlines. It goes all the way through March of next year, so all of that information.
Right. It was a very small window last time, so it was
Yeah.
hard to kind of share with your neighborhoods. But to be able to just pay $100-something to have a tree delivered, planted, and so forth. So it's a good thing for neighborhoods to get behind.
Well, and real quick, if you don't mind, the first year was like 70-ish trees, the second year was over 300. I mean, this is actually a really great program that
Yeah, I appreciate
Water,
that.
Public
Good.
Works, and the Compact are
Yeah.
doing.
I have an important technical update. It's a /.
Oh,
Sorry.
/
Sorry.
Everything, you know.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. Okay, moving then into our agenda, resolutions. And so I may, by next meeting, be as savvy as Councilman O'Connell where I can put some of these routine things on a consent agenda, but I'm not there yet, so we're just going to motor through this as fast as we can. Resolution RS 219-43, O'Connell, Mendez, and others accepts a grant from Keep Tennessee Beautiful to the Metro Public Works Department to implement a cigarette litter prevention and recycling campaign at Riverfront Park.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Question?
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. I thought you were like yesing with the vote.
I do
Good
have
question.
questions. Well,
Yes.
so are y'all putting the TerraCycle things for cigarette butts or?
Well, we'll collect them and ship it off to TerraCycle.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay, thank you. And that's an initiative y'all have done at the Riverfront several times, is that
I
right?
have done a lot of the cigarette litter stuff downtown because that's where it
Yeah.
ends up being. But this grant was specifically for preventing cigarette from getting into waterways,
Okay.
which is one reason why we picked Riverfront Park.
Okay, excellent, thank you. RS 2019-44, Murphy and Henderson approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, and the Metro Department of Public Works for a general maintenance agreement for Smart Corridor Phase 2, I-24 from I-440 to State Route 10 in Murfreesboro, and State Route 1 from I-24 to State Route 10 in Murfreesboro, and various connector routes. Do I have a motion?
Second.
No, actually.
Oh.
Please don't. Back it up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. You just had a lot more, yours was a lot longer than what I read in planning, so I had to double check it was the right bill.
Okay.
So evidently TDOT has let Public Works know that the project number is a little off or different, so we deferred it.
I appreciate that.
So we
I had
can
a
get
note-
that fixed.
Note here to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
To defer how many meetings?
Just one. Looking at Public Works, they're not moving, so I assume one is fine with
I'll
them.
move to defer one meeting.
okay.
And will it be re-referred or should we ask questions now? if
We
have
should
questions?
definitely re-refer it.
And re-refer.
Okay.
Well, if you defer it, it stays here. You don't have to re-refer it to yourself.
Right, right.
1 second, because we haven't done second yet.
That's left. Space.
And then I guess colleagues, if anybody has any questions about that in the meantime, you can get those to me or staff, right? Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, moving along. Thank you, Councilor Murphy. RS 219-45, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes the Broadway Hotel LLC, doing business as Moxie, to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 110 3rd Avenue South. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay. Any questions about this? Okay. I wanted to thank staff from an analysis perspective. I think that was the most information I had seen about in our analysis about an aerial encroachment. We've done a lot of those in the last term. I think Councilman O'Connell is leading the way for the award on that. But I did really appreciate understanding all the kind of legal implications and everything that went into these aerial encroachments. So thank you, staff, for that. Okay, so all in favor? Okay. All right, bills on second reading. BL 2019-4, Councilman Sledge amends Chapter 6.04 of the Metro Code of Laws to prohibit aerial advertising. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And you have some amendments?
Yes, so I'm going to be asking the committee to make this easy today. I'm going to actually put the amendments on, and then I'm going to ask for referral.
Okay.
So I would ask, there are two amendments before you. If you want to keep-
I'll move Amendment 1 and Amendment 2.
Okay. And is there a second to, second.
I'll move Amendment 1.
And if you could then,
Yes.
describe each.
So Amendment 1, both of these are housekeeping/cleanup amendments. Amendment 1 inserts a couple of whereas clauses. One was requested by another member about rationale for the, well, good, now I know who it was. The rationale for the bill. The other one was about precedent that has been put forth in federal courts that allows us to do these sorts of things. So it's purely informational. It corrects a typo, and then I'm going to look at Hannah for the third thing. Is that all?
That's the
Amendment
first
1?
two, and then, right, for Amendment 1.
Perfect,
Just
that's
the two
Amendment 1.
things.
Yeah, corrects a typo, puts in whereas clauses. So.
All right, do I have a motion for Amendment 1 then?
Sorry.
I've been moved, thank you.
Yeah.
All those in favor of Amendment 1?
Aye. I move Amendment 2.
Okay. And can you describe, okay, second for Amendment 2, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Amendment 2 has clarifying language regarding a certain type of aerial advertisement, which we can very much get into in a couple of weeks, if that's okay. But again, it's just purely meant to clarify language. So.
Okay, again, clarification language. Any other questions about Amendment 2? All those in favor of Amendment 2?
Aye.
Okay. All right, and with that, is there a motion to defer one meeting?
I move to defer one meeting as amended.
Second.
All those in favor of one meeting deferral as amended? Okay.
Thanks so much, Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Sledge. Okay, BL 2019-5, Henderson amends Section 1308.025 of the Metro Code of Laws relative to honorary street signs.
So moved.
Okay, motion and a second. Ms. Zeitlin, can you just explain that briefly? It's really just a typographical
Right,
fix.
so basically the sentence now just says calendar. It should say calendar year, so it just adds the word year after calendar.
So colleagues, there is no change as to the number of honorary signs that can be done within a calendar year by this body. So I know that may have been a point of confusion. So that is not changing. It will remain as it currently
So this is just
today.
a housekeeping
It
bill.
is, correct,
Got it.
correct. All in favor? Aye. BL 2019-14, Van Reese and Henderson amends the Geographic Information System Street and Alley Centerline layer for the Metro government by changing the name of Worth Street to Creative Way.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you to Council Lady Van Reese, making it much more creative up there in her district. So BL 2019-15, Hurt and O'Connell, thank you, Council Lady Hurt, provides the honorary street name, so relevant to the bill we just passed, designation of Reverend James C. Turner Way for a portion of Hawkins Street. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second. Council Lady Hurt, would you like to share with us
Well,
about that?
yes, Reverend James Turner was a well-known, beloved pastor in the South Nashville community, pastor of New Hope Baptist Church. He was very much involved in civil rights activities and a lot going on, not only in South Nashville, but all over the city of Nashville. He was one of the bridge builders and connectors and served the community very, very well. He passed a couple of years ago, and his son now is the pastor of the New Hope Baptist Church, and they wanted to have that part where the church reside as an honorary name in his memory. Yes, Councilman O'Connell.
And I will say, I'm very appreciative of Councilmember Hurt doing this, and the current Pastor Turner has also been presiding over the IMF, and he has been in touch with me about this as well, and I'm excited for the Edge Hill community to benefit from this honorary week.
Interministerial fund.
Yeah.
Yes, and the thing of it is that he has 3 sons, and all 3 of them are ministers.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay. Great. BL 2019-16 Henderson amends the GIS system, alley centerline layer for the metro government by abandoning an unnumbered alley right-of-way and easement. Do we not, Ms. Zeitlin, have to indicate where that is? That it's not referred to in the notes here.
I think that's just maybe a typo.
Do you still have a quorum? Thank you.
I don't have that bill in front of me. It's also not in the analysis. Anybody happen to have it in front of them?
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead just since there's no street name, just for the public record, there's no street named on that. So skipping ahead to 2019-17, authorizes the metro government to abandon existing sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole and easements for 3 properties located at 1307 McGavick Pike and 2300 and 2302 Riverside Drive. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
And I have
Okay.
discussion, sorry, just,
Oh,
I want to be,
yes, yes.
administratively, I was not added on that, I just want to make sure that it's called out.
Okay.
I'll work with the clerk, but that I am added.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sorry, and then I.
No worries. And okay, all in favor. Okay, 2019-18 authorizes the metro government to negotiate and accept permanent and temporary easements for the West End Place Stormwater Improvement Project for 22 properties located on Bowling Avenue, Central Avenue, Greenway Avenue, and West End. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Honeysucker, do you know the parameters of that? Where, between what and where? So it's West End Place, I guess kind of the end points.
We'll see that one now.
In the meantime, Ms. Zeitlin, did we get to the street name on 2000?
Yes. So that is, so it's abandoning an unnumbered alleyway, and that alleyway is from alley number 1140 eastward to the dead end between Charlotte Avenue and Trevor Street.
So Charlotte Avenue and Trevor Street is the
And it's
vicinity.
right north of Charlotte, if I'm remembering
Okay,
correctly.
so
There's
in
a
whose
map.
district is that? Is that in Council Lady Murphy's district?
It may be in District
No, I think it's
21,
Kendall.
actually.
I
was
think
gonna
that's
say,
Kendall in
it might be
21.
Brandon Taylor's district.
Okay, and your colleague, Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon Taylor. I forgot.
Taylor, okay?
I understand.
Alrighty,
That would be from Bowling Avenue past, block past Greenway Avenue.
okay, on Bowling and past Greenway, okay. Alrighty, I think that's in Council Lady Murphy's district, okay, thank
It
you.
is.
Alrighty, with that explanation, all in favor? Aye. Anyone against? No. Okay, and if we could, then we're going to return to 2019-16. Mrs. Zeitlin was just sharing with us the location in the vicinity of Charlotte, abandoning an unnumbered alley and right-of-way easement in Charlotte in the vicinity of Trevor Avenue. Do I have a motion for that one?
So moved.
A second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, colleagues, how many of us do we have at this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7, 8.
8.
Are we 8? Oh, Councilman O'Connell, you're here. All right. Keep up with these things. Okay. 2019-19, and see, now we see why Councilman O'Connell had the consent agenda for all these things. But, okay. Authorizes the metro government to negotiate and accept permanent and temporary easements for the Tusculum Road Stormwater Improvement Project for 13 properties located on Old Tusculum Road and Tusculum. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions about this one? Nope, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, BL 2019-20, Henderson and Parker authorizes the metro government to abandon existing sanitary sewer easement rights for property located at 110 North First Street. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, and we have Mr. Nash back, so are you in favor of this, Mr. Nash? Okay. So that's a 9-0.
Strongly in favor.
Okay. All right, 2019-21, Henderson authorizes the Metro government to abandon existing sanitary sewer main and easements and to accept new sanitary sewer manholes and easements for property located at 3964 Woodlawn Drive. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay. Great. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, colleagues, that is the end of our agenda. Thank you. That concludes.
There were a lot of people concerned last meeting that there weren't any grapes out there that Nina normally brings. There is some fruit over there.
Thank you, Councilman Nash. That now concludes our meeting.
Pounds of grapes?